Buddhism is the best religion for taking overly complicated things and making them simple. What you see right here is very important. It's the yin and the yang. Within bad, you get good. Within good, you get bad. You can't have 100% good. You can't have 100% bad. There needs to be a balance. There is a balance. We all know about these balance. You got Luke and Vader back there. But Vader, him and of himself, he wasn't totally a bad guy. Luke wasn't totally a good guy. But they both had a balance. They were out. Now, what I want to do, oh geez, I'm sorry to bring Star Wars into social justice stuff, but it is possible to get too engorged with social justice. And we've definitely come to a point where we've gone too far. Gotta make sure that arm stays low. Anyways, we've gone too far, and it's mainly the females that have gone a little bit too far. And the thing is, men can't do anything about women going off. Women have to catch women on their bad ideas. It's okay that women have bad ideas. Women are capable of having bad ideas. But why I need to say it's women is because legitimately, psychologists have flat out told us men can't argue with women. Women need to argue with women. And if they don't, then we're all screwed, basically. But anyways, I just want to point proof out as Trump and Kamala Harris. Like Kamala Harris, she had all of the points. She had all of the social justice whatevs. Didn't work because the silent majority looked the other way. The same happened in the 60s with the hippies. The silent majority pushed one way. But man, the hippies never actually managed to do as much as the individuals pushing DEI. Now, it is possible for things to get too far. And if you don't know what that looks like, then there's issues. We all need to be equal. Now, sometimes that means equity, but it absolutely does not mean the DEI that we have. Anyways, I'm 2.5 minutes into this. I got to get you to the test. This is the test that you can tell. There is a difference between racism and institutionalized racism. If you don't know the difference between racism and institutionalized racism, you need to look it up. Now, here's the thing. We live in a particular reality. And a lot of people don't particularly like that. They don't think borders are real. They don't think that rules and laws are real. But at the same time, they're not looking at where in the spectrum their ideas have them. And unfortunately, it's to the left in the form of anarchy. And yeah, now what nobody wants to know or admit is if you go too far right, you get an evil structure of order, like a really messed up structure that actually has a lot of chaos in it. And we can refer to the Catholic Church back in the day. And oh man, just, I mean, if you look at what the Habsburgs did in the 30 Years' War and the fighting going on between the Protestants and the Catholics, like there was a reason for some of those fightings to go on, but some of the fighting that went on was just stupid. So you go too far right, doesn't work out. If you go too far left, what's the opposite of order? It's chaos. So if you go so far left, you lose rules, no borders, no laws, and then eventually there's no laws for the women getting abused, let's say, and hurt, and that is legitimately happening more and more. We're looking over in Europe, we're looking over here. Knife attacks in Europe are way up, and I have difficulties talking about this. People will shut me down, tell me to shush. One of the best memes that you know the woman, the meme of a woman like she's like getting in on someone. She is arguing with the person who is arguing about what's happening over in Europe. Over in Europe, there was a Syrian spring that came, and then bring a lot more immigrants in because reasons, and there's more knife attacks in Germany more than ever before. Things are getting really crazy over there. Of course, a lot of people, you don't want to look into this. Nobody wants to look into this. Everyone wants to look at their work and keep their work going, even though this information is like clearly available out there. And this isn't even conspiracy theorist stuff. Guys, just like look at world news. Now, what we need, and what the Buddha keeps saying, is we need balance. We need to come to the middle. We need to come to the center. But what I need to point out, the biggest fault of the far left is that people don't actually agree with you as much as you think they do. They just don't say anything because they're worried that if they do say something, then some kind of spiritual awakening will happen within, a witch hunt, basically a witch hunt, whatever reversed witch hunt is, that will happen. And yeah, it happens, it has happened. But if you think that, here's how you know you drunk the Kool-Aid, okay, flat out. If you think that a black person beating up on an Asian person is not racism, let's say it's because COVID. Oh, he brought COVID into my country. Like, that happened. That legitimately happened many times, in New York particularly. It was really rough. If you say that that is colorism and not racism, get a dictionary. Now, I'm pretty sure in Canada it's Webster's, and in America it's, I forget. But in the court of law, if you go to the court of law, the word of the law is important. The guy in maintenance told me about this. He got out of charges because of the letter of the law. The letter of the law was based off of the dictionary. And when they got to the dictionary definition, it wasn't what he said. So we all go off of the dictionary and law. If you don't go off of the dictionary and law, you are an anarchist. You are an anarchist. Now, look up racism because you will find that that is an exact definition of racism. Now, here's the part that bothers me. Who taught these people, women particularly? Mostly they go to McMaster University. Who taught these women that institutionalized racism is the definition of racism? They hijacked the whole thing, which really bothers me. It's not just one, two. So this is the way the argument goes, or this is the way ultimately it goes. They tell me that racism is institutionalized, and institutionalized racism is the only racism. So I start working them backwards, and I get to the dictionary. They get to the dictionary and they say, that dictionary was made by the white man. So what law are you going off of? What, you were educated, you went to the place and got educated, you went to a place of order, and with this, you got these pieces of paper. You got these pieces of paper, but now that you have these pieces of paper, you're like, order doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Definitions don't matter if I don't agree with them. This doesn't matter. And in that is the woke mind vibe. Like, when you sense that, then you know they've been bit by the woke mind virus. Like I said, I've had to break people out of cults before. I've had to get them out of relationships before. So you know you're dealing with some shit when you hear some shit. I don't need my family. All I need is God. David Miscavige says my family is not good for my, what'd they call it? Subversive. Man, it's been so long since I knew the lingo. Suppressive person. Time to fair game them. Okay, it's coming back now. So women will know with other women when they're in a bad relationship. There are certain words that he'll say, that she'll say, that you know he doesn't know what he does. He's been drinking. He overreacts. He doesn't know what he's doing. He apologizes later. He cries. He says it'll never happen again. I fell down the stairs. There's these certain things that people say that automatically they click you in, like, oh, that's what's up. And as soon as I hear a woman say that it's colorism if a black man is racist against a Asian man because of COVID, if they say that's colorism, and then the next thing I get out of them is that racism and institutionalized racism are the same thing, and then they fight me on well, the definition needs to change. Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? That's just a little bit yeah, I don't know. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, think about it. Now, this is tech related because the social justice warriors have invaded our spaces everywhere. Every place has changed. Everyone's too worried about stuff. In the 80s, we started closing down parks in Toronto, in Ontario. My village has a park that's closed down because of an overly litigious SOB. And now it seems like we're not allowed to think things, we're not allowed to say things, or we have to think in a particular way, or people will close down our parks. That sucks. It sucks. And I want to get back to normal. The old normal. Anyways, that's how you can tell if you or the person that you're talking to has been taken over by woke mind virus. Thanks for listening, guys. Take it easy.